Hello friends, welcome to Programming Concepts. My name is Amit and this is part 10 of our What's New in .NET 7 and C# 11 series. In this video, we will going to cover a very interesting feature introduced in C# 11 called File Contextual Keyword. If you want to learn .NET Core from scratch, you can watch our dedicated playlist created for that purpose. I will share the link in the description. Alright, let's quickly read the definition from Microsoft first. As per Microsoft, beginning with C# 11, the file contextual keyword is a type modifier. What does this mean? So from .NET 7 and C# 11 onwards, along with public, private, protected and internal, we also have file access modifier. The file modifier restricts a top level type scope and visibility to the file in which it's declared. Alright, so another very important point is the file modifier will generally be applied to types written by source generator. File local types provide source generators with a convenient way to avoid name collision among generated types. So the second point is about source generator. As a source generator developer, they have to deal with name collision stuff. Just in case you don't know what source generator is, a source generator is a tool that can generate code at compile time. This can be useful for a variety of tasks such as generating code for database access, scaffolding, web application and more. I'm sure you have used the scaffolding stuff. So one of the challenge with using source generator is that they can generate code with the same name as existing type. This can lead to name collisions which can cause compile time error. So as a source generator developer, if I'm using file keyword, I don't have to worry about name collisions. Let's not go deep into source generator stuff. Let's elaborate this definition and explain this definition practically. Let's go to Visual Studio. And I have already created a .NET 7 console application. Now, as per definition, the file modifier restricts a top level type scope and visibility to the file in which it's declared. So what are top level types mean? Just in case you don't know, a top level type is a type that is not nested within another type. Unofficially, we can also say that whenever we can define anything we can define directly within namespace can qualify as top level. So we can create class within namespace. So class is our top level type. Let's create new class called hidden widget. Now we have a class hidden widget within file scoped type namespace. So this keyword class is a top level. But if I try to declare a variable here, let's say public int x, you can see we have an error, and the error is a namespace cannot directly contain members such as fields, method or statements. So this is not a top level type. On a similar note, we can define interface. For example, interface I hidden widget. See, no error. So this is interface keyword, also a top level type. Next, we can define structure. For example, struct hidden widget. This is also a top level. See, no error. What else? Yes, we can use enum and we can also have partial keyword, delegates, record, etc. In short, whatever you can define at top level. All right. So all these are top level. So instead of internal or public, you can make all these types as file. Let's change the types of all these type except class to file for now. Now, as we understand that when we use file access modifier, these types of entities only available to this physical file itself, not outside to this file. Let me define struct within class. So let's type struct nested struct Now, what do you think? Can we use file keyword within this struct? We have just seen file keyword is allowed with struct. And if your answer is yes, then you are wrong. Just go to slide once again. And as per definition, the file modifier restricts a top level type scope. Focus on what top level. Now this struct is not a top level. This struct is within class. So now we cannot use file keyword with struct because it is nested. Let's try that and add file keyword. And you can see we have an error. File local type hidden widget.net struct must be defined in a top level type. Simple, extremely simple. Let's take another example. Let's create another class called hidden widget2. Now, because the name of the class is different, it is perfectly fine. But what if I want a class with the same name? Is it possible? Let's see that. Let me open those two files vertically. Let's try to change hidden widget2 to hidden widget. And you can see we have an error. The namespace already contains a definition for hidden widget. Now let me use newly introduced file access modifier. So let's change internal to file. And now you can see error is gone. So this class with file access modifier is only available to this file only, not outside of this class. That's what we discussed in our slide. The file access modifier restricts a top level type scope and visibility to the file in which it's declared. So this is simple, right? All right, let's understand how Microsoft manages to achieve this. Let's open browser and navigate to sharplab.io. This website decompiles your C# code and you also convert your C# code to intermediate language, just-in-time assembly, and you can also generate source tree. On the left-hand side, you can see we have a public class C. Let me change it to my class and also change the access modifier to file. On the right-hand side, we have a decompiled code. Here you can see our class name, my class. But it is prepend by some random string, something like GUID. And if you look at the access modifier, it is internal, not file. So C# decompiler convert this file keyword to internal and change its name to some unique and not possible to guess name at runtime. Simple, extremely simple. Although you don't have to worry about it, but I found this thing interesting, so I shared with you. All right, next. Why Microsoft introduced this file access modifier keyword? First use case is when you want some interface and class that you know it won't require outside of the file. Let's implement it practically. Let's define an interface. So type file interface iWidget in hiddenwidget.cs file. And let's say it has a method with return type end. So type end provide answer. Next, we already have a class of type file. So file class hidden widget, and let's say it has a public method. So type public int work such that 42. So this dummy code will return 42 as a work. But the problem is, what should I do with this class if it cannot be accessed outside of this file, right? So this is not its use. We want these interface and class because we don't want to expose it outside this file, but we can create another class which can use the functionality of this class. So type public class widget, inherit with iWidget, implement interface. Then let's say I want to use hidden widget class. So type var worker is equal to new hidden widget and then return worker.work. So my widget class is exposed to outside world, but not my hidden widget class and nor my iWidget interface. So if you have such class and interface, you can use it in this way. So that's it from this video. I hope you like our content. If you have any queries related to the content of this video, feel free to ask me in the comments. Thank you for watching.